Polk County town of Stromsburg transforms from a quiet rural town to a Swedish village straight out of the old country. For over 70 years, the residents of Stromsburg have celebrated their heritage with the annual Swedish Midsommar festival, and it shows no signs of stopping. The smell of sizzling chicken on the grill, the nostalgic sound of Swedish folk music, and the feeling of a community coming together help keep their heritage alive and thriving. Welcome to 93 Counties, a podcast about Nebraska and the people that call it home. I'm Matt Johnson. In this episode, we travel to the Polk County town of Stromsburg and explore the people, places, and traditions that make this town the Swedish capital of Nebraska. Polk County is in central Nebraska, just north of York. Its largest town, Stromsburg, is located 7 miles south of Osceola, the county seat. The Swedish influence of the town can be traced all the way back to its founding in 1872. Barb Lamoree is a fourth-generation Stromsburg resident.
But a man named Mr. Hedstrom was one of the founders of the town, and he was of Swedish heritage. And then his relatives came, and then the Swedes heard about it, and they started coming. Lots of them went to Illinois first, and then they left Illinois and came here. I belong to the Sundberg-Johnson clan, but there was Andersons and Petersons and Larsons. As you go down the list of names, you find that most of them were of Swedish background and heritage.
Nearly 30% of Stromsburg's 1,000 residents can trace their ancestry back to Sweden, according to the 2000 census. The town takes its name from a neighborhood in Ockelbo, Sweden, where many of the founders emigrated from in search of a better life in America. As the town grew, residents wanted a way to celebrate their Swedish heritage. The inaugural Swedish festival was held in 1953 and has continued every year since. Starting in 1962, Stromsburg has honored service and leadership in the community with the election of Swedish royalty. Festival organizer Sharon Noyd says being named king or queen is a great honor, one she was humbled to receive in 2007.
I was crowned queen, at one time. My husband was crowned king before that, but I knew that because they have to let the family know to get the person to show up that night. But I didn't dream that I was going to get the queen thing that year that I got it.
The town takes the royalty selection very seriously, going so far as to keep the voting process private until the big reveal in the town square on Friday night.
That's the best kept secret. Nobody knows who's going to be king and queen. The previous kings and queens meet in April. They bring people that they feel have worked on lots of areas in the community, men and women both. And then the kings and queens vote, and we never know how that turns out. Just the president and vice president would know who that would be. And so the Friday night is a big secret deal that's revealed who's the king and queen.
Another mainstay of the festival is Swedish dancers in the town square on Friday and Saturday nights. The youth of Stromsburg dress up in traditional vests and dresses adorned with the blue and yellow colors of the Swedish flag and perform for the rest of the town. Barb's children danced in the festival in the past.
There's a maypole dance, and the little girls dance, and then the boys have a dance, and I cannot remember what it's called. But they pretend to fight, and they love that. They pretend to bat each other.
Children of all ages participate in the dances.
When we had the oldest kids, it was guys and gals dancing together. They go out to the home and perform for the people out there, too. And they start practicing several weeks ahead of time.
A fair is a veritable smorgasbord, orgasbord.
Every festival has its fair share of food offerings, but one of the most popular in Stromsburg is Smorgasbord, held every other year at the local high school. Barb is a former chairperson of the event.
We have served at one time when I was a chairman with two other ladies, we were co-chairmen. The year or two before we became co-chairman, we had well over 1,000 people that we served.
But what is smorgasbord? Sharon says it's very simple.
Well, smorgasbord is butter and bread. Smor and board means butter and bread.
Smorgasbord has been part of Swedish cuisine dating back to the 16th century, where it was served before meals as a sample platter. Sharon says the Stromsburg version expands that to include a sampling of foods from every course of a traditional Swedish meal.
It's at least a 4-meat buffet that would have potato bologna that the local grocery store makes on its own, Swedish meatballs, ham, salmon, pickled herring, sardines, things like that, that would be the meat group. There's some Swedish desserts, rosettes would be one thing, ostkaka, which the direct translation is cheesecake. There's cookies, like Swedish lace cookies and things like that. So the desserts have Swedish choices. The whole atmosphere is decorated for a special occasion in Swedish flavor. He's been going to the city council meetings, so there's one of those tonight.
Making the festival a reality each year takes a lot of work behind the scenes. From the chicken barbecue on Friday night to the parade on Saturday, everything needs to be planned well in advance. As head of the festival planning committee, Sharon oversees this months-long process that is open to all who want to participate.
Anybody can come to that. There's no criteria that you have to qualify for. We meet once a month up until June, and then usually we just have a meeting at the beginning of the month, and things are going smooth enough. We're ready to go. I've got tremendous help. Everybody's got their category, the craft department and the food department and the road race, and everybody's own little compartments all just run like a fine-oiled machine. So it's great.
The younger generation has also stepped up. Students at Cross County High School assist in fundraising efforts throughout the year, which in turn supports athletics and activities at the school.
This is one way to promote our school and promote the kids and promote what they're fundraising for in different areas, having different people help support it. So I think we have good help from them.
The festival also provides an opportunity for former Stromsburg residents to visit and show off their hometown to their friends and family. With only 1,000 residents, the Swedish festival puts Stromsburg on the map.
The alumni come back, bring their families to show their kids where they were raised, where they graduated, what their hometown was like. And so it's so fun to see all these people come back home for that weekend. That really does draw a lot of people back for that.
Sharon says the biggest part of the festival isn't the festival itself. It's the time spent with families celebrating their heritage together.
We who live here and are blessed with being here all the time forget what a great place it is sometimes, because it is a great place. We have that small town atmosphere and a slower pace than some places where these guys live. And when they go to the big city or go to the East or West Coast and they come back here, I think they just relax and they're just thrilled to have their kids see what it could be like.
The Swedish influence runs deep in Stromsburg, from the Välkommen welcome sign, the Swedish food aisle in the local grocery store, and the old-style architecture surrounding the town square. The town truly is a bit of Sweden in the heart of Polk County, and people like Sharon and Barb ensure it will stay that way for years to come.
I hope they would remember that it's a welcoming community. You can walk around the square and see so much in just a short time. We've got a gorgeous park. We've got a lot of pluses going for this small of a town. You can spend a day here easily.
The Swedish Midsommar Festival is held every third weekend in June in Stromsburg, Nebraska. Vi ses där! This episode was hosted, Reported and produced by me, Matt Johnson, in collaboration with Advanced Audio Content Creation and 90.3 KRNU. 93 Counties is a KRNU Studios production from the College of Journalism and Mass Communications at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Thanks for listening.
Is this thing on?
KRNU Studios.